Alright, so this is the Learning by Teaching project. Today we are going to be talking about stereotypes, and to be specific, it would be interesting to talk about some stereotypes that are kind of associated with some specific college majors. So, to start, we're going to talk about stereotypes. So stereotypes are pretty much overgeneralizing categories for people. I'm sure you know some stereotypes, just in general, based off of everyday life that get bringed up. So they usually can occur when people are mentally taxed or stressed. Pretty low effort to be able to assume people with stereotypes as they're already there. And while not true, usually stereotypes, people do use them a lot. And it is easier to notice things that kind of go with these stereotypes when you're looking out for them, which would make sense as if someone tells you something about, like as we're going to talk about a college major, you might pick up on that trait that gets talked about more if you know about the pre-existing stereotype compared to if you don't know anything about the stereotype at all. So something else that goes along with stereotypes are stereotype threats. So people might evaluate you on a stereotype for your group. So this is going to be making an assumption about you with the stereotype that would just kind of go along with everything. And there are a lot of things that can trigger from the stereotype threats as stress and more negative thoughts on what you're doing. So, this could go with many different fields and categories with it, but there are ways, luckily, to reduce stereotype threats, which is important because these stereotypes stereotypes in general should not be there. So they do help people reduce feelings of uncertainty or of belonging. So if we can get rid of these stereotypes, then people will not have to worry about having to deal with these anymore. So something that I wanted to look into were for college majors, and I just want to talk about a couple. Talk about psychology and business, as I am a business major and I know some of the stereotypes that go along with business majors. So to start, for psychology, as we've talked in class about stuff, the joke kind of is that people might be depressed, or they want to know more about themselves, or some people are, if you're in psychology, when they sit there, they're just always trying to study you and find out what's going on and see if they can see, and people think that they're always trying to figure everything out about them. So this can be hurtful for the major, as people aren't going to want to have to be associated with solely being like, well, hey, you're in the major, that, like, are you okay? Like, some people think that psychology majors might have, or might be like depressed. That's kind of what the stereotype is, or might have other problems. And that's just not true with people. I mean, it's a major that's pretty popular now. I think people are trying to, or take the major to help each other out. And it can go a long way, as it's a growing field, and it's really good that more people are interested in this topic. Now, for business, um, business majors kind of get a rap of like partying, and that some people believe that business majors are very easy majors, and that there's less work. I know that there's a joke out there saying that business majors, their homework tonight is going and coloring some images and doing things like that. And I mean, there's definitely a lot of hard fields in business that don't really align with this. So I did talk to one of my friends about being a business major, so I could kind of compare and contrast some things, that because he's in a different type of business than I am, see things that he sees. So I asked him if he's ever heard of the stereotype of business being easy, and he said that he actually hasn't. And he does believe that business, and he's in finance, so he believes that's one of the hardest majors to be in, and that it takes a lot of studying and hard work and kind of preparation to be able to be in these majors. And I asked him if he's noticed some people that he would think that would fall under the stereotype, and he actually says that he has noticed some people that would kind of fit in finance, and I think finance sometimes gets like the frat guy, frat boy kind of persona. I've seen online from people, so he has noticed some people that maybe kind of would, I don't, maybe fall with the stereotype a little bit. Um, I asked him if he thought he fell in the stereotype at all, and he said no, he just doesn't really align with it at all. Um, and I did ask about if he believed if people would be kind of scared away from being in the major that kind of is stereotyped as being easy and as something that some people online might take a little less seriously, even though that's not really that should not be a concern for you at all if people are online making TikToks about your major being this or that, because that's not right. You do what you want to do. But he said that he doesn't believe that people should be worried about the stereotype, as it's not really true at all, as he does a lot of work to go with the stereotype, or to go with the major. And I asked if he enjoyed the major. He said that he does. It is a lot of work though, so that really does yet again go against the stereotype. He said yeah, it's difficult, but he does believe that finance is a good major and that business is a really good field to end up in, as there are many different jobs and places that you can end up being at, and it's a good major to help learn time management and dedication for him. Um, I did ask him about if he's heard about other stereotypes, possibly. One of them I asked was psychology, and he said that he does not believe he's ever heard about the psychology um, the psychology stereotype of kind of people being or doing it because they're trying to like study you or all that stuff. He does. I did also ask him about computer science because I know that computer science majors kind of get a bad rap sometimes, with like the joke being that, oh, the stereotype of like them not going outside or just like they're very antisocial. And he did say he's heard of that one before. Um, so I did also want to talk about these myself because I do believe that business can sometimes get a bad rap, especially also psychology. I think it's not right. Um, for me, marketing definitely has a lot of difficulties. If you're not good talking in front of people, then that is not something that is good for you. It is a lot of work to be able to put together these presentations and get together with people, and I don't know why people would think that that would be very easy for everybody. Um, I have noticed the stereotype online. People joke about it being easy, as I said before. So um, I don't agree with it, though. Of course, um, I feel like that yet again, as my friend said, um, there's no need to worry about the stereotype. Like, do what you want. Like, if you want to be a marketing major or a finance major or accounting, these things there are all these difficulties that that people have, that people have with these majors and taking these courses. I enjoy my major, and I think that there are difficulties to it. But I think it's a good major to if you want to kind of be able to expand your people skills and be able to do to know more about marketing. I mean, that's what it is. It's great. And yeah, I mean, I've heard of the stereotypes of computer science and psychology, which is why I talked about it. And I think it's really tough to. I feel like these two majors definitely have a lot of stereotypes attached to them, and I think that's unfortunate because I think a lot of the time these are these don't apply to people really. So I think that these stereotypes are going to stay around as long as people are around, and I think you can definitely work on kind of getting these stereotypes out of the picture, because I mean we can move on from stereotyping psychology majors as having mental problems. I mean, that's ridiculous. or computer science majors just being super antisocial with everything, and business majors being easy. And I think it, as if we can move on from this, I think it'll definitely be better for everybody. And I really think that we can work on getting rid of these stereotypes as time goes on. So, thank you. Yeah, get rid of stereotypes.